In eFootball, people love talking about endgame cards, broken stats, and players that feel unstoppable. But the truth is a bit more uncomfortable than that. Every single player in the game, no matter how overpowered they look on paper, has something about them that can be exploited if you understand how the engine works. And once you start noticing it, you realize most matches aren't decided by who has the better player, but who understands the weakness behind that player. Take Custo, for example. On paper, he actually looks more useful than people give him credit for. At 173 centimeters with 79 physical contact, 96 finishing, 92 speed, and solid dribbling for a striker, he's not exactly a joke card in gameplay. He can move, he can finish, and he even wins some aerial balls thanks to his decent 82 heading. But when you actually play high-pressure matches, you start to see the issue. Custo gets pushed around too easily when defenders start bodying him. That 79 physical contact sounds okay until he's up against elite center backs who just shove him off the ball before he can even get his shot off. He becomes a striker who is deadly in space but unreliable when the game gets physical. In simple terms, he performs when things are clean, but struggles when things get messy. Now move to Samuel Eto'o, and the story changes completely. This is one of the most dangerous goal poacher types in the game, with ridiculous acceleration at 99, speed at 98, and finishing at 97. When Eto'o runs into space, it feels like the game is broken. Defenders don't catch him, and goalkeepers are often forced into awkward situations because he shoots so quickly. But even with all that chaos, there's a clear weakness hiding in his profile. His heading is only 72, and his physical contact is 82. That combination makes him unreliable in aerial situations. So when the game forces crosses or lofted plays, Eto'o suddenly becomes much less threatening. He doesn't dominate in the air, and against strong defenders, he can be neutralized just by forcing the match into crossing situations instead of through balls. He is pure ground speed destruction, but not a complete striker in every situation. Then you have Eden Hazard, and this one is interesting because he feels almost unfair when you dribble with him. His ball control is 100, dribbling 101, tight possession 100, balance 96, acceleration 96. He is basically glued to the ball. You can turn, spin, change direction, and defenders just slide off him. But the moment physical contact comes into play, the illusion starts breaking. His physical contact rating is low enough that stronger defenders can simply shove him off balance. So in tight midfield traffic or under aggressive pressing, he loses that freedom. He's not built to fight, he's built to glide. And when you remove space from him, you remove a big part of his threat. Shevchenko is another striker who looks perfect until you understand how he behaves under pressure. With finishing at 95, speed at 95, acceleration at 97, and great positioning, he is one of the cleanest finishers in the game. He doesn't need many chances, and when he gets one, it usually ends in a goal. But his tight possession at 74 changes everything in crowded areas. He can feel slightly stiff when surrounded by defenders, and he doesn't turn as smoothly as elite dribbling strikers. Combined with his low physical contact, he struggles to hold the ball when pressed. So he becomes a striker who is deadly when played directly, but limited when asked to create under pressure. He's not a problem solver. He's a finisher. Now, Zlatan Ibrahimovic is where things get controversial, because people often say he has no weakness. And to be fair, he's the closest thing to a complete striker in the game. With physical contact at 92, heading at 88, finishing at 95, and strong kicking power, he dominates almost every situation. He can hold the ball, he can finish, he can win aerial duels, and he doesn't get bullied easily. But saying he has no weakness is more emotional than factual. He is not the most agile player, not the fastest in tight directional changes, and not the smoothest dribbler under intense pressing. You won't notice it in open play, but in compact defensive setups where space is limited, he doesn't feel as fluid as smaller attackers. Still, the reason he feels so complete is because none of his weaknesses are exploitable in a consistent way. He doesn't have a clear kill switch. Ronaldinho is the opposite type of player. He has pure creativity and flair. His ball control at 97, dribbling at 95, tight possession at 94, and curl at 91 make him one of the most fun cards to use in the game. He can twist defenders, fake movements, and create chances out of nothing. But the weakness is always there when it comes to physical contact and finishing consistency. With only 75 physical contact, he can be pushed off the ball when defenders get aggressive. And even though he can finish 88, he is not reliable as a primary goal scorer in pressure situations. So he creates more than he converts. He is the magician, not the executioner. Steven Gerrard is a completely different type of weakness story. He is one of the best box-to-box midfielders with insane stamina, passing ability, defensive awareness, and powerful shooting. He can control both attack and defense in one card, but his balance at 74 makes him slightly heavy in tight situations. When pressed by agile midfielders, he can feel a bit stiff, turning under pressure, and sometimes loses fluidity when receiving fast passes in congested areas. He doesn't fall apart, but he doesn't feel silky either. He is more engine than elegance. When you put all these players together, something becomes very clear. Efootball doesn't give you perfect cards, it gives you trade-offs. Eto'o gives you speed but lacks aerial dominance. Hazard gives you dribbling but loses physical battles. Shevchenko gives you finishing but struggles under pressure. Ronaldinho gives you creativity but not consistency in physical duels or finishing. Gerrard gives you control but not agility. Even Custo shows that balance between speed, finishing, and physicality always comes with a cost. And Zlatan? He stands out not because he has no weakness, but because his weaknesses don't get punished often enough to matter. That is the real secret behind eFootball. The strongest players are not the ones with perfect stats. They are the ones whose weaknesses are hardest to expose in real gameplay. And the moment you understand that, you stop playing cards and start playing matchups.